Hey there, guys. My name is Ryan Schul. Welcome to my channel. So today the narrative is about standardizing multiple date formats. Okay, so we can get one single unified standardized format for all dates. And then once everything is standardized, we can do joins, we can do concatenations, and all kinds of fun, exciting, interesting things, right? But if dates come to us with all different formats, you really can't do anything with that. And this is it might sound a little bit weird, might sound a little bit unusual, but I dealt with this firsthand. I've seen this a few times in my career. I've dealt with this firsthand. I worked in a place where a project manager took about 6 months to set up the whole initiative and their planning and like tracking all the progress of this thing. You can do this in one afternoon. I don't know why this thing took 6 months. I could do this literally in a couple of hours. I put this project together, I think, in uh, less than 1 hour, but why it took 6 months for the whole coordination and planning. I guess you need to feel important. I guess you need to make yourself heard and you have to have a voice, right, in the meetings and things like this. I don't know why it takes 6 months, guys. This is a 1 hour job. This is it. So why do we have to standardize formats for dates? Basically to create unambiguous joins and merges. If a table has strings or different dates. It could be 0809, and another can have timestamps. You see this all the time in the data world. You can have datetime 64 or ISO format, right? So you have to, sorry, you have to take this. Sorry, I've had congestion for like 10 years. I'm sorry. But you can take all these different formats and standardize them and consolidate them into one single unified form, right? So you can take accurate aggregations, group bys, resampling, daily, weekly, monthly, rolling windows, time series analysis, things like this, deduplication, reconciliation. I worked in the reconciliation business for a little over a year, reconciling all different kinds of reports all over Wall Street. You can do downstream simplicity, right? You can take your models and your formats and just streamline them to the next team, right? I worked in a place that had like 400 different models, and one model feeds into another model, and you had this one streaming down and this one upstreaming and downstreaming. Very complicated. You can straighten that out and figure it out using different types of charts and graphs. Plotly will do that for you pretty easily, right? And what was the one? I forget the name of the thing, but it shows you the flow of movements. I forget the name. Now this is bothering me. I have to look this up. Guys. Uh, Charts, flow. Oh, here it is, Sankey. It's called the Sankey chart. When I saw it, I recognize it. So you can do Sankey plots, right? Once all the dates are formatted and standardized, you can do so many different things, right? But if you have all these different date formats, you really can't do anything. You're kind of dead in the water. You're just sitting there, just thinking like, how do I get out of this spot? How do I make a move? How do I do this, right? So let me show you right now. So let's say you have different formats. You have to do a little bit of data cleaning or refinement. It's called data refinement, right? Or just clean up the data. So anything that has backslashes, maybe you just have to put a dot in between. Anything that has um, different types of characters between the dates, you have to clean that up and just make everything the same form, right? So if you have things like January, February, March, April, right? You have to clean these up into the same forms. If the numbers are greater than 2 and greater than 12, or if one part is greater than 12 but one part is less than 12, you might have a date, and day, and then month, or you could have month, and then day. So in the United States, you tend to see this format most of the time: day, month, and year. But in some European standard calendars, you see the month and the day, but you can tell if it has 13. So if this is a 13 and this is a 12, you can there's no such thing as 13 months in a year, right? So you know the 13 has to be a day, right? And you know the 12 has to be a month. But if you have um like 12 and 13, then you know that this has to be the month and this has to be the day, right? So certain conventions that you can follow, the certain relationships that adhere to how dates should should look, right, in different countries. If you go across different countries and different regions, they can look a little bit different and it can be misleading. But you have to take this and just consolidate this into one form that kind of makes sense and that universally is recognized by everyone. I don't care if you're in the United States. I don't care if you're in Kansas, Ohio, Oklahoma, New York, California, Texas, or Florida, or if you're in Iceland or France or Spain or Bulgaria. Like, you have to take this and get this into some form that everybody can understand, and you can share this universally very quickly and very easily, right? So let me show you a couple different date formats. We have month, day, year. Okay, so that's pretty easy in the United States. This is August 25th, 2025. This is August 25th, 2025. And year is implied. Like, sometimes the year is left off, but if the date comes to you like yesterday or today, and this is 2025, then that's the year, right? You just append the year on there, right? If you have 2025-08, you know that this is the month and this is the day. There's not 25 months in the year, right? Like, this. You have to have some baseline for comparison here, right? But once you know that there's 12 months in the year and there can be up to 31 days in a month, sometimes it's 28, right, for February, sometimes it's 29 if you have a leap year, but you have to know like the baseline comparison, and then you can start to make estimates and judgments and start to fill in the gaps here, right? This is also gap analysis. So this is August 25, August 25th. This is missing the 25th, but we know it's the same date. You know that August 25 is 25, right? 25, August 25. So you know that this is the year, right? Or this could be the year, but you have to understand like the year is the current year, and then this is the month, and this is the day, or this could be the day, or this could be the year, or this could be the year. But you have to set like benchmarks and controls and guardrails to try to guide everything into the same universal relationship, right? And then you can have sometimes periods. So here's a month, day, and then year, right? Or this could be a month and then year and then day. That would be a little bit unusual. I haven't seen this too much, but look, I've worked on Wall Street for 20 years. You see everything, right? After a while, you see everything. So this could be, this should be the day, the month, and the year, because this has 2025. 13.2. Now we're getting into a little bit different kind of thing here. But this cannot be the month. It's not 13 months in a year. This has to be the date. So it has to be February 13, 2025, right? It has to fall into that convention. This is unambiguous, right? This can be a little bit ambiguous, right? You can interpret this a couple different ways. So this is August 25th, 2025, or August 2025, and this is the 25th day in August. That's a little bit ambiguous. This is not ambiguous. This is only one way to interpret this, right? This is the same, right? So this is kind of flipped over a little bit disoriented, but you have to know that it has to fit into this bucket. It has to follow these guidelines or these rules, right? So let me go ahead and run this script, and I will share the script with you guys. I will drop the script in my notes when I post this video later today, or give you a link so you can download the script. So you can see everything is in a list here, right? We append everything to a list, right? And the list comes from right here. This is a list defined by the square brackets. So these are pretty obvious right here. This thing is a little bit weird looking, but that's fine. We're just going to strip out the promo. This thing has none. None is none. That's just nothing, right? That's nothing. And this is just a blank date, right? So we have the raw dates here. This is what we're looking at, raw dates. Okay, so, everything looks fine down to here. Promo has promo. We want to get rid of the promo. We want to just clean it up. Again, refinement. We're refining the data. We're cleaning. We're disambiguating the data, or unambiguating, whatever the term is. I think disambiguating. And this has nothing, and this is nothing, right? So nothing is nothing. I can't get a date from nothing. Nothing's going to happen here. But these dates look pretty decent. They're in good shape, right? I can do something with that. That one needs a little cleaning. I'll take care of that. So we have the date standardized and then the date ISO over here. So the ISO, remember, this is just a way of universally standardizing all the dates, I think around the whole world. Let me look this up. ISO dates. Look this up real quick. I've worked with this in the past, but it was a long time ago. ISO standard uses the year, month, day to avoid ambiguity, and date interpretation across different countries. For example, April 3rd is 2024, 0403. Okay, so this is a universal way of getting everything standardized in the same relationship so everybody understands what this is, okay? So we have the raw date, we have the date standardized, and we have the date ISO over here, okay? So let's say we have a data frame with a raw date and a couple different date types over here, okay? And we want to go ahead and apply those dates and match those with what we have in our original data frame over here. Anything that matches up. So I work in finance pretty much my whole career. I did a lot of like time series analysis, a lot of equity reporting, equity analysis, right? Is a stock worth $25? Is it worth 26? Is it worth $200? Things like that, right? Some fixed income analysis, did some derivatives back in the day, and some uh, foreign exchange, FX as well, but like equities is really my bread and butter here. So let's just say you have equities, right? You can join different equities, closing stock price from Yahoo Finance. I use this a lot in a lot of my videos. You can join this. Once you standardize the dates, you can join this to your data frame, right? And do any kind of analysis you want. Pull in different components for your equities, look at different components from the balance sheet, the income statement, the cash flow statement, all these things, right? You can look at this pretty easily once you have the dates standardized and set up. But let's say you just have some very simple KPIs. I don't even want to go into equity analysis, right? I don't want to analyze, is the stock worth $25 or is it worth $400? Like in this case, I don't care. I just want to match the dates. And I want to make it even easier, not even looking at equity data. I just want to look at just some basic KPIs, right? Key performance indicators, right? And I just want to match these based on the dates. If the dates match up, I can join based on the KPI and get my KPI data. Again, I have KPIs right over here and I have dates right here, right? These are my KPI dates right here, right? And I'm cleaning up all the dates from the data frame. It was kind of messy before, but we've refined it. We have reconciled the dates, right? And I want to join those with my KPI numbers. So I can definitely do that once the dates have been cleaned up. If the dates have not been cleaned up, right? If they look like this thing over here, this is just an absolute mess. I can't join anything because nothing is going to match. It's like if you're using Excel, you want to do a VLOOKUP or something like that. That now Excel has some different lookups. When I used to use it, I haven't used Excel for a long time. When I used to use it, it was mostly VLOOKUPs. Now I think they have a couple other alternative ways to do the matching. Index match is one. I use that a lot in the past. So if you want to use an index match or a VLOOKUP, that's fine if you have your dates. If they're all messy, nothing's going to match, right? So you have to clean this up. Once you have the date set up, you have the raw date, the event, and the actual dates, right? The cleaned up date. This is a refined, improved date, and you have the KPI. You can do all of these things, right? Once the dates have been cleaned up, you can do these matches. You can do these joins, right? So what? Can you give me a minute, please? Can you give me a minute? Okay, sorry, my son just barged in here. So how do we standardize the dates in plain English? So I showed you the code, right? I gave you all the code, and I'm going to drop this when I drop the video later today. Control Enter shows you the list of the dates. It's kind of messy, kind of dirty, kind of funky looking, right? But once you clean that up and do the merge, you have everything that merges or matches with your KPIs, and you have the report done, guys. This takes a couple hours. It doesn't take 6 months. I don't know what the project manager was doing. I wasn't in charge of that guy. He didn't report to me. I would like nowadays, I would just override that and just say, listen, let's just get this done in a day. Like, I don't know why it takes 6 months. But anyways, that's the way it was before, right? And there's protocols and like this guy reports to this and you have to do this thing and you can't step on this person's toes or they're going to get upset and they want a paycheck every Friday. So anyways, there's a very efficient way to do this. We're streamlining and standardizing multiple date formats, right? So it's pretty easy to do this kind of thing. So in plain English, what are we actually doing? Early checks for defaults. If the cell is empty, just return the none. Just do nothing, okay? If it's empty, like this cell over here, right here, there's nothing I can do with that. There's nothing I can do. There's no date. I would go back, not to that project manager, but I would talk to another project manager that was more competent and actually coherent and say, listen, we're not getting dates. Let's backfill these dates. Let's just get this filled in and talk to a business analyst or somebody that can actually do the transaction, right, and get that fixed. But if there's nothing you can do, right? Nothing is nothing. So reference year is that this year, if you're getting the data in real time and pretty frequently, like daily or weekly, then you can assume that this year is this year. 2025 is 2025. Right now it's August 26th, 2025. That's what this is, okay? We'll never have another August 25th, 2025. When today is gone and done, it's done. It's not going to be repeated, right? But if you know that you have to pen the year, and this is the current year, and you have to pen this onto your month and your date, then just do that. That's all you have to do, right? So normalize, make it parsable, remove any kind of like weirdness. 25th is just 25. First is just one, right? It just standardize this and just make it uniform. So strip parenthetical promotion. Okay, so August 25th, there's a promotion. Just take that out, cut it, parse it, make that into an actual date. Unify separators, dots and dashes. Detect if there's a month name. If some weird convention comes up, just handle it, right? There might be some outliers. There might be a couple of weird things that pop up. Try to deal with it. If you can't deal with it, you're going to get these things over here, okay? And if you have a couple, that's no biggie. That's no loss, okay? You have 2 dates that are missing, so no one's going to lose sleep over 2 dates. But if you can get these backfilled or filled in or retroactively updated, that's good. If you can't, then you can't, okay? And decide what the convention is. Is this month and day, or is this day and month, right? So in this country, usually it's month and day. And European countries, I believe it's usually day and month. You just have to decide what the convention is and use that, right? If there's a math name, use day first. If it's numeric only, use a heuristic. A heuristic is a way to define how something should be done pretty efficiently, pretty accurately. It might not be 100% absolutely guaranteed to be correct, but in most cases, it's probably 99.9% accurate, and that's good enough, right? If you have something that's 99% done and you can do that quickly, efficiently, just do that, okay? You don't have to take months to do this thing, and if you drop a couple of records, it's okay. If you can get most of the stuff out the door, get that over the goal line, score a goal and get 6 points, then go for it. Do that, right? You don't sit around for months and just think and opine. I've worked with people that said, I have to opine. That's form an opinion. It's a legal term. It means form an opinion. I have to opine about this. I have to opine about that. I have to opine about different things. No, you don't. Just do your job. Just do what you have to do, right? Who is sitting in the office with no opining other than like lawyers I worked with 2 decades ago, okay? Don't do that. Don't do that, guys. The second number is greater than 12. It has to be month, day, right? There's certain conventions, there's rules you follow. Otherwise, fall back to the preferred day first flag. Parse with pandas, right? Pandas is a very powerful library. In Python, that's going to do the lift and shift for you. Try it. Pi, date to time. I've used this countless times. I don't know how many times. Thousands of times, maybe over 10,000 times, right? A lot of times that will get you where you want to be most of the time. Sometimes it will do all the work for you. Sometimes it will do 99% of the work for you. And then there's outliers. You just have to clean those up and handle those on a case-by-case basis. If that fails, try opposite date first. If that fails, return none. Maybe there's a flag. Okay, I know there's a problem here. I know that we can focus our time and attention on these 2 records. We don't have to spend 6 months on these records, right? This is done, 1 hour, done, all done. We can focus our time and attention on these 2, try to get those cleaned up. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You have most of what you need. Return timestamp, normalize to midnight, date only, and you can render it with ISO and use this convention, year, month, date, if that is your goal too, right? There's a few different ways to skin this cat here. It's really up to you. It's a little bit arbitrary, but you should still standardize those dates and get what you need and get the thing straightened out and get it mostly fixed. If you can deliver 99% of the project in 1 day, I think your boss is going to be thrilled. I think the team is going to be very happy. I've worked in these places before, guys. Like they'll give you 6 months, 9 months, sometimes 12 months to do something. You can do it in a day, then kick back and relax for the next year, right? You don't have to do a whole lot. It says send a couple emails, keep them happy, keep feeding the managers, right? That's all you have to do, and take care of them, right? But if you can knock it out quick and easy, then that's what you should do. Okay. So this is my narrative for standardizing multiple date formats into one single format. I'm going to wrap it up here. We're at 20 minutes, probably dragged on a little bit longer than it needed to. It probably could have standardized this video. I'm talking about standardization, right? Probably could have standardized this video in maybe 5-10 minutes, but whatever. I want to cover all the bases. I wanted to cover all the points here. So I think we did that. Mission accomplished. I think this is a good outcome. So that's it. Just keep an open mind with these things, right? Anything is possible. There's no limitation. You should be optimistic. Don't be pessimistic ever. Pessimism is basically guaranteed failure, but be realistic too. Don't be optimistic and just say, I'm going to just knock this out in 2 minutes, and then you can't, and then you get pessimistic. Don't do that, right? Be realistic mostly. If you have to lean one way or the other, go optimism. Okay. Be optimistic, be positive. Don't be pessimistic and think that the glass is half empty. Just be optimistic, right, with your analysis and with your thought process. Okay. And you'll get there. You'll get what you need to do. And Google it, right? If you get stuck, Google it. Google is a skill. Google's a skill. I'll tell you that right now. So that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for your time. Thanks for sticking through to the end. I'm going to post all this code. I will save it right now. I save as HTML. I will upload this. All the source code. You have everything you need to get this done, right? Do all the refinement and the formatting and everything to clean up your dates. And then it's up to you to showcase your skills and impress your boss. I'm giving you the foundation to step on. Isaac Newton once said, if I've seen further, it's because I stood on the shoulders of giants. He was referring to the fact that he built mathematical models, basically calculus, and a lot of the advanced math that we use today for all kinds of physics, biology, chemistry, data science, engineering, a lot of things that we use today, even electrical engineering, right? Chemical engineering, things like that. He built the foundation for that, but that was only because he could stand on the shoulders of people that came before him and built the foundation of mathematics. Okay, if it wasn't for that, he couldn't do his job, but he was in the right place at the right time, just like you are, just like I am, right place at the right time, and we can do phenomenal things because we have stood on the shoulders of giants, guys. We stood on the shoulders of giants, okay? And we have seen further. That's the point. So I'm going to leave you with this. Thank you for watching this thing to the end. I appreciate that. Hopefully this knowledge drop was useful and educational and practical. I'll share all the code, I promise, and I'll drop the code in the video and very soon, and I'll see you in the next video when I post that a little bit later today. Take care for now, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.